I found out that the Acura MDX is the best-selling premium mid-size 3-row utility on the market.
Man, that's a mouthful.
Is it ever? And these vehicles are everywhere around here.
Yeah, and the thing is that we wanted to get this vehicle to find out why this vehicle sells so well. Now, we recently did the Acura RDX with the A-Spec trim, and this MDX has the A-Spec trim, and in my opinion, the A-Spec treatment on this transforms it the most.
Does it ever? Now it comes with the 20-inch gray aluminum wheels. You've got this awesome front fascia that's so aggressive looking. You've got black gloss trim around the windows, dark chrome throughout the vehicle, and of course, the larger exhaust tips. All this together creates this combination of a sportier MDX, and that's hard to do with a 7-passenger SUV.
For me, it's the back. Those two exhaust tips, you've got the gloss, looks like a painted skid plate along the bottom, just grounds the vehicle, makes it look more assertive. It looks very European, in fact.
It really does.
So you touched on the gray wheels. They're 20-inch on the A-Spec. The base wheel is 18 inches, but all MDX get these nice-looking dual-eye LED headlamps and LED tail lamps on every single model. All right, we're going to get inside, go for a drive, and we'll tell you about the features and see if it's mom approved. Now, we should mention that A-Spec is an appearance package. All of the vehicles come with the exact same engine and transmission. And what do you get under the hood?
You get a 3.5-liter V6 with 290 horsepower.
And how much torque?
And 267 pound-foot of torque.
All right, good one. You remembered. Okay, and the automatic transmission is a 9-speed automatic. And I have said in the past, when this first came out with the 9-speed, I didn't exactly love it. They have definitely sorted it out, and to me now, this is actually a high point because it gives you the flexibility of power when you need it, economy when you want it. So when you first drove this and you hit the gas, what did you think?
Amazing power. I was so surprised at the power in such a large, long vehicle.
All right, now we should also mention that you can get adaptive dampers, but on the top Elite trim. This car comes, I think it's a nice combination because you don't get those active dampers, but you do get bigger wheels and tires, which does give a different feel to the driver, right?
A sportier feel, you feel a few more bumps in the road, but I really like that.
All right, now handling overall. It is a 7-passenger large utility. What did you think?
Fabulous handling. I was able to take corners with ease. I maneuvered in and out of traffic with no issues at all. And when we were filming the exterior of this vehicle, how many times was I turning around?
Yeah, and when you turn around, you have a standard backup camera that has the multi-view. If, once again, you get the Elite, you get that around view, that sort of overhead look, but it's only on the top Elite. Now, one thing I should mention on the Elite as well is that's where you get the heated rear seats, but all of the rest of the MDX comes standard with heated seats and heated steering wheel. Speaking of seats, how do you like the look of these?
Oh, I love the look of them. I love that suede and leather combination, and you can also get it in a red leather, which I think is pretty clever that Acura has put this out because it creates a sportier SUV. Usually you see red interior leather in a sports car.
Yeah, and the thing is they're ventilated on this trim as well. They've also gone with the sort of carbon look with the brushed aluminum pedals, and it all comes together, I think, to update this for 2019.
Oh, for sure. And also, let's not forget that thick perforated steering wheel as well.
Now, the head unit is the traditional Acura head unit with the 2 screens. Now, we drove the RDX recently that had the single screen with the trackpad, and that probably will come one day to this. What I found, though, is the more you use a system like this, you do become familiar with it. It does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but what do you need for those?
You've got to have a plug-in.
Yeah, and you get 2 here in the center bin and 2 in the back, so everybody can be charging and you can connect to the car. Now, the center bin, what do you think of that?
Tons of storage and 2 levels of storage and deep storage to boot.
Yeah, it actually is very, very functional. And speaking of SUV, utility is the middle word there. Is it a good utility vehicle for a family?
It really is. The comfort level and space in the second and third row seats is just great. And once again, Acura has kept the feature of the flat floor, which I think is really important when you're trying to put 3 people in the second row for comfort.
They also have a feature they've had for many years I absolutely love, and that is the button you push in the second row and it flips and folds the seat forward, and it makes it much easier to get into the third row. Did the kids complain about going into the third row?
No, no problem at all. And you know how our teenage boys are. They're tall and they like space.
Yeah.
They want to spread their legs out. So they were quite happy with this.
What I love about this vehicle is, okay, you're not using the third row all the time, right? So you have the third row folded down into the floor. It's an enormous cargo space at that point. Plus you get a big bin underneath. And when you put all of the seats down, there's a ton of cargo space if you ever had to move anything, for example. Now I should mention again, that Elite package, it's the same price. You can get the Elite with or without captain's chairs.
That's a good option. And I wanted to also touch on some of the safety features that are standard with the MDX, which are super important to me, especially driving kids around all the time. The forward collision warning and emergency brake, as well as the lane assist warning, both super important, and also the all-wheel drive system.
Yeah, super handling all-wheel drive is standard on every single trim, and that's one of those features that you just kind of is in the background and you take it for granted. So you're going to get the advantage of getting traction, of course, in the winter, and we had some snowy roads that we drove on, but also for handling, and it helps hustle a big vehicle like this around a corner. It uses a combination of shifting the torque to certain wheels at the back to help sort of push the vehicle around, and it's in the background. It's one of those things when you buy a car, you sort of take it for granted. Okay, it's got all-wheel drive, but this is a sophisticated all-wheel drive system. Okay, we're going to get into the price because that's very important because it's a family vehicle. The base MDX, even with heated seats as standard equipment and a standard heated steering wheel, starts at just over $54,000. Okay. This A-Spec is just over 60, and the top Elite that I mentioned with all those extra features is just under 67, and if you get the 6-passenger vehicle or the 7-passenger, it's the exact same price. So do you think the sweet spot is this A-Spec?
I think the A-Spec is the way to go. It comes with all the features that I would want, and I think the price point is quite good when you compare it to other luxury vehicles. I think that the MDX has a lot of extra features in it for the price point.
It doesn't have a lot of direct competitors, really only one, and that's from Infiniti. But for me, the detraction for that vehicle is the fact that it comes with a continuously variable transmission in a big vehicle. Not a fan of that. This comes with the conventional 9-speed automatic. It trumps it in that category. But you have a story also about someone who bought that vehicle for space.
I have a friend who bought that particular vehicle. They have 4 kids. The little one is still in a booster or a car seat, and they're really disappointed with the space. In fact, they had to buy another utility to cart the whole family around. Look at, when I have friends or just people that I run into and they're asking about a utility vehicle and they want the space, I say, bring the whole family down to the dealership. If your kids are still in car seats or boosters, you've got to put them in the car. You have to almost simulate your everyday life.
It's a real test drive. And it's the same with this. I mean, you have to make sure this is going to work for your family. But on space, I think it does the job. And I think when you compare it, especially to German import vehicles, it's much less expensive. And I think that's one of the reasons why you see these everywhere. They've kind of got the perfect combination of people mover, luxury, and price. So now that you've driven the MDX again after a couple of years, can you see why this is so popular?
Oh, I can totally see why it's so popular. Not only do you have the comfort level, you've got the style, the sportiness, and also the room. As a people mover, I can see why people want this and why they're drawn to the MDX.
And now you get it with a lot more curb appeal.